Today on Car Traction, I'm going to convert my beautiful FH Grubb vintage bicycle from a fixed gear setup to a freewheel setup. Now, I've had this bike for a few weeks and it's been a wonderful bike to own, really nice and easy to use and a great thing to ride, but the only thing that's been holding it back a little bit is the fact that it's fixed gear. So in today's video I'm going to sort that out. Now, if you're not into your bikes or you don't know what fixed or fixie bike is, it means that there's one cog here, one cog there, no gears, there's no internal hub gears like on really old bikes, and no derailleurs where they have the loads of cogs down there and a couple of ones at this. There's one cog there, one cog there, you've got one gear and you've got to stick with it. This one I think is a 70-inch gear, so very high gear, but it also means you can maintain a high speed. So as you can see, a single speed is fixed without a freewheel, and that's what I'm going to be adding today. So freewheel is where you're going down a hill, say on a bike, and you don't want to stop pedaling like mad like that, and then you just hold the pedals out like that. But on a fixed bike, these two cogs are constantly linked together and they're constantly spinning. So as you can see, no matter either way I push the pedals, the wheel will go that way. Now if I did this on a freewheel bike, the wheel, this would disengage and this would freewheel on its own. But as this is a fixed gear bicycle, they're in a constant link and it's constantly spinning. And there are some advantages to having a fixed gear bicycle. It's very simple maintenance, literally just the two cogs, and also it teaches you a lot about anticipating things, because you don't want to lean too much on a bike like this, because as you can see with a fixed, when you're going around say a hard right corner on a freewheel, you'll have that pedal up so you don't risk clipping the pedal on the floor and basically having a massive crash. But on a fixed gear bike, that's constantly spinning round, so there's a high chance if you're cornering hard like that you'll clip a pedal. So it means you have to brake a lot more before corners. It teaches you to go through corners very smoothly and open up the corner in terms of angle as much. But it's just, for me personally, it's quite inconvenient. A lot of people like fixed gear bikes, but for me, I don't mind the single speed. I don't mind only having one gear, that's actually quite nice. But for me, I'd like to be able to go through corners and choose to have my pedal in the up position like that, so there's no risk of me clipping a pedal if I'm cornering hard. And I think it's going to make the bike so much more usable, and that's why in today's video I'm going to be converting from the fixed hub to a freewheel hub, which will mean I'll be able to stop pedaling and just go down hills a lot more comfortable and maybe a little bit faster, and the back wheel can just spin on its own and not be in constant link to the pedal. So that's what fixed gear and freewheel is, and why I personally think a freewheel is better. So let's have a look at what I bought to convert the rear hub to freewheel. And here is what I will be fitting, the little cog that should transform this bike. Now this is a 17 tooth 1/8 wide chainring which has a freewheel. I'm not sure I'll be able to, there you go. As you can see, that would click round, so that's effectively the wheel turning and the pedals not turning. And this, as you can see, the old one here is just one metal casting, you know, it's got no internal thing, as this has got all the bearings and the little clicky point thing, some technical language. That'll mean it's able to freewheel. It's a lovely Sturmey Archer part. I got this particular one just because I thought it would look better being a Sturmey Archer part, and actually it should fit better. This chain ring, the links on it are a tiny little bit too thin. There's very sort of little differences in width for the cogs and chains, but this is, I've made sure to get the right one, and yeah, that's what we're going to be putting on today. But I'm still going to have the option of putting this one on, because what I'm effectively creating here is called a flip-flop hub. So basically what I'm going to do is, there's a thread on the other side of this wheel, and that's where this is going to screw onto, and this here stays on. So I'm going to take the wheel off and I'm going to turn the wheel so it's like this, it'll be like that, and then this cog will be on that side, and the Sturmey Archer new freewheel that's screwed on there will then be on this side, so that if I ever want to, I can turn the wheel back round and have the fixed hub on this side and the freewheel. So basically I'll be able to choose whether I want to ride with a fixed as it is now, or whether I want to have the freewheel on this side and the fixed on that side not being used. So it should make this bike so much more versatile. To be honest, I can't really see myself going back to using the fixed hub, but that's the agenda for today. Take the wheel off, turn it round. This, I made sure to get the one with the right thread, so hopefully it should just go straight on. We'll have to see. And then hopefully this bike will be a lot more comfortable to ride going downhill and a lot more usable. I've got my magic everything spanner. So the first thing you need to do is slacken off the wheel nuts, because of course the never mind, I didn't pick the right size. Need to slacken off these because of course the wheel's going to have to come off. But don't take them off all the way, so we don't want to take the whole axle out.
That'll do.
And then the same on the other side. Is the other side reverse thread?
No, that should be the same.
No, it isn't. So they're both loose now. Our two bolts that hold it on. So now we bring it out of the dropouts upwards.
Loop that out the way.
There we go.
Voila.
Oh, I should have used the quick release brakes. And that was why it was a little bit fiddly. These brakes have a little thing.
Yeah, you've got a quick release.
I should have done that actually. That wasn't very smart. That would have made it way easier. Anyway, despite that, got this off.
So in theory,
So that's the side with the fixed. This is the fixed side, so we're going to be messing around with this side.
in theory, this
So we need to.
goes on here. That goes on, and hopefully it's the same thread.
Right, so we can do it up sort of that tight, just hand tight, because obviously the chain's going to be pulling it around this way, so the chain will pull it tighter with the action of pedalling.
Yeah. We'll just nip it up a little bit.
Right everyone, so that is nipped up now, and that should be there. The lovely Sturmy Arch, I should mention that was £12.99, that was with free postage, so for the effect it'll have on the bike it's totally worth it. It's meant to come with a little sort of nut thing that fits into these grooves here to tighten it properly, but that didn't seem to be there, so we did just use a screwdriver and give it a little tap.
So now you've got the option of fixie.
Yep, so I could put it in like that, and I'd have, sorry, no, I could put it in like that, which is what we're going to do, and have a freewheel, and then I'll be able to stop pedaling or pedal back whenever I want, or for whatever reason I could put it back to fixed, which I probably never do, but if I wanted to then I could. This is known as a flip-flop hub, so now we've got the best of both worlds, as this wheel has two threads, and the British stuff, it seems to be a general thread, French stuff, Italian stuff all have their own threads, so you need to research that. So now I've actually made use of my lovely quick release brakes. This needs to go back in. I need to make sure it's definitely the freewheel side.
Yes.
Need to sneak it into the dropouts. Struggling around the brakes again, but
If you backed off the little brake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier than last
It'll
time.
go. You can always let the tie down a bit if need be. It's not quite in yet.
That's now sitting in the dropouts. Now to put the chain on, I'm just going to bring it slightly back so that the chain will go on nicely, hopefully.
So you had to count the number of teeth.
Yeah, but it's a 17 tooth chain ring and an 1/8 of an inch gap in between the two sides of the chain.
A little bit more.
Yep.
So you just get it on the top and then just turn it round to drop in. So just spin it round a little bit now. Like that way.
Finally.
You're on. Right, okay, so now slide it back. Slide the wheel back.
Right, well that is the hub on now. There's probably been about a 20-minute gap in between the last two clips because there was actually a problem which we hadn't thought, was that the freewheel hub, because it's got the freewheel mechanism, is actually a lot wider than the original hub, which is of course just the actual chains for all the mechanism. So we had to pack out on the axle with some washers sort of in between there, because the end of this, the bit that's always turning, was grinding against the frame, so we had to find some extra washers that fit, and it was all a bit fiddly. But now it is back on, and it does seem that we got the wheel centered, and it does seem to work okay. So now I can freewheel or pedal backwards. So whereas before, if I did this, it would keep pedaling. Now I stop pedaling and the pedals will stop and the wheel will keep going, as before they would have been whizzing round and trying to throw me off when I'm going down a hill. So I think that should be successful, but I think let's just see, make sure it rides properly as well. Freewheeling. Okay, so the Grubb does seem to be running nicely with the freewheel. So took the wheel off, swapped it round. The old fixed hub is still there in case I wanted to turn it back, but I probably never will. And you just have to, if there's a bit of a clearance problem where the axle won't fit into the dropouts, you have to pack it out with a few washers. And that's the only real thing. Apart from that, a very simple job. So that is the Grubb. I'll probably do a video about riding this another time. And yeah, I think it's time to introduce you all to a new bike at Power Traction HQ. And actually it's not a new bike, because this thing has been sitting behind my shed for about 15 years or something. This is a little girl's bike, absolutely roached, unrestorable, terrible condition. This thing is rusty. This is the good bit, the front wheel is off and the rear mudguard is all funky and everything is seized. Which is a shame, because I wouldn't have minded that tennis racket clamp. But yeah, this is, I just dug this out from behind my shed. I thought it'd look cool there. Let me know what you think, but it's just a cool bit of yard art. It's never going to ride again, but yeah, it just looks kind of cool. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful, maybe if you're looking to convert your fixed speed bicycle into a freewheel, then do let me know. And also let me know if you'd like to see more of the bicycle videos as well as the usual classic car content on here. But I'm going to go out for a ride on the Grubb either today or tomorrow, and let's see how it'll do. Hopefully it'll be alright. But that's the end of today's video. Do all that, subscribe, check out the channel homepage, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Just a little add-on here to announce a couple of other cycling related developments today. I bought this Complete Cyclist book here, £1, and it has many handy diagrams on how to take things apart and how to reassemble them and improve them. So actually quite a useful thing, because my other bikes date from the 50s and 20s, so you know, could be a useful thing for actually reference, and also it'll look nice in the shed or wherever I decide to put it. And also, as of today, I'm a member of the Veteran Cycle Club. I got a membership for my birthday. I was going to do it anyway, but yeah, very good to be a member of the Veteran Cycle Club. They actually organise a Bone Shaker's a type of early bicycle. They organise a loan scheme where you can rent, or potentially for free, I'm not sure, to be honest, I think it might be free actually. You can loan from the club one of their club's machines, they're called. So the VCC, a lot of the stuff is sort of 1900, 1800s, 1910s, and I can actually loan some of those from the clubs. There could be some very exciting videos in the future where maybe if I get contact with the club, I might be able to organise even a free loan and a video about riding some of the really early bikes that they have. But it's all very up in the air. I've only just become a member and there's a lot to do before that, but that could be very interesting indeed. And they also do a bi-monthly, is it? Well, once every 2 months, I'm not sure whether that's bi-monthly, magazine, completely free for members. It's £32 per year if you're in the UK, which is actually really affordable, and it's a great club to be involved. I'll definitely be taking part in at least one of the Veterans Cycle Club events this year, and I should film it as well. I'll probably do that on my 1927 Path Racer. But yeah, just a little add-on to say that will be a handy little thing, a lovely old book, and I'm now officially a Veterans Cycle Club member.